Hello everyone. Today we shall see the MAXA and MAXX functions. Here there are a few points to remember about the MAX function. When we are comparing two expressions, blank is treated as 0. Okay. Suppose that if 1 and blank are compared, it returns 1 when we are using MAX function. If minus 1 and blank are compared, okay, it returns 0 in case of MAX function. If both arguments are blank, max returns a blank value. Okay, if either one of the expression returns a value which is not allowed, then max returns error. Okay, these are the few conditions. And in additionally, we have condition where true or false values are not supported by max function. If we have to compare the boolean values or true or false values, we have to use MAXA function. Let us see how max function works with various data types. Okay, here I have this sales table. I have brand, country, date and other numerical columns. Okay, I'll quickly create a new measure in the measure table. Okay, I'll click on the measure table. I'll create a new measure. I'll write max date equal to max sales date. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis and hit enter. Okay, I'll go to home tab, take a text card. If I click on the max date, here you could see that maximum date is 2021 December 31st. Okay, let us see few more values. Again, I'll click on the new measure. I'll check it for numerical values. I'll write max unit price equal to shift enter max, open the parenthesis. Here when I open the parenthesis of max function, here you could see that either it takes the column name or we could provide scalar 1 and scalar 2. Scalar 1 or scalar 2 is measures mostly where you could compare the value between two measures and find out which one is the maximum one. I'll show you the example for it. For now, we shall find out the maximum value of sales unit price. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis. I'll copy the text card. I'll copy the text card. Instead of maximum date, I'll use maximum unit price. Here you could see that the unit price maximum is 1200. Similar to the unit price, okay, I'll create another measure for unit cost. Okay, I'll show you and I'll also show you the comparison and how to get the maximum value. I'll write maximum unit cost equal to max, open the parenthesis. Here we can write unit price or unit cost. Okay, here I'll click over here. I'll copy this text box. I'll paste it. Here you could change the measure and see that maximum unit price is 1200, maximum unit cost is 750. Suppose that I wanted to find the maximum value between these two measures. Assume that we are not representing in the text cards. Okay, I'll create another measure. I'll use the same max function in order to compare the scalar values. Max comparison equal to max, open the parenthesis. In scalar 1, I'll write this max unit price measure. I'll put a comma. Again, I'll write max unit cost measure. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. Here, I'll copy this text box. Okay, I'll show you the comparison value. Here you could see that maximum value between these two values, it is 1200. Okay, this is how we can compare two measures which yields in scalar value or any particular value, and we could find it by using this max function. Either it takes column value or it takes two scalar values which could be measures. Okay, this is how max function is helpful. if we could check the boolean values, max function does not work with boolean values. I'll show you by writing a measure. Okay, we have a boolean table. I could take the example of boolean table and show you. Here I'll write max boolean check equal to max, open the parenthesis. Here in the column name I'll write boolean check. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis. I'll copy this text box. Okay, I'll paste it. Instead of that max comparison, I'll take the measure max boolean check. Here you could see the error because it doesn't support the boolean values, and even it is mentioned in the error. Okay, let us move on to the MAXA function. In MAXA function, it supports numbers and dates. Okay, and the true values which are present in boolean, it is counted as 1, and the false values are counted as 0. Empty cells are ignored, and if there are no values, MAXA returns 0. Okay, these are few things to remember. Suppose that if you want to compare text values, you must use MAXX function instead of MAXA, and this function is not supported in direct query mode when it is used in calculated columns. Okay, and also in the row level security rules. Here I'll remove this text card. I'll show you how to check with the MAXA values in boolean condition. I'll create a new measure. I'll write MAXA boolean check equal to MAXA, open the parenthesis. You need to provide only the column name. I'll provide the column name boolean check and close the parenthesis. Okay, I'll go to home tab. I'll take the text box and click on the MAXA boolean check. Here you could see the value 1. 1 represents that it has the true value and it is the maximum value. Either it must be 0 or it must be 1. Since it is the maximum condition, it will yield us value 1. Okay, I'll move on to the MAXX function. Here, as as I explained in the previous two functions, it works with the numbers, text and dates. Okay, the blank values are skipped in the MAXX function, and true or false values, which are boolean values, they are not supported, similar to the MAXX function. And this MAXX function, it is an iterator function which works in each row, and it evaluates in row context and help us with the necessary output. Here it is not supported in the direct query mode when it is used in calculated columns or row level security rules. These are few conditions to be remembered. Okay, I'll quickly go to measure table. I'll show you how MAXX function works. I'll create a new measure. I'll write MAXX profit value. Okay, let us find out how to check the maximum profit within the sales table. Once I write MAXX, okay, I'll write sales table, which is the first parameter, which you could see here. I'll put a comma. In the expression, I have to provide the expression in order to find out the profit value. So our profit value is like unit price, sales unit price minus the cost, sales unit cost. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis. It checks each and every row in the data. It evaluates it, and then it will give us the correct result. Okay, I'll click over here. I'll go to home tab, take a text card. I'll show the MAXX profit value. It is 450, and you could validate it using the dataset provided in the description. Okay, I'll copy this text card. Here I'll write another measure in order to showcase you another advantage of using MAXX function in row context. Okay, here I'll create a new measure again. Suppose that I wanted to see the profit of only LG brand. Okay, I'll write MAXX LG brand profit. I wanted to see the maximum profit of LG brand. Okay, I would like to use the MAXX function. Open the parenthesis. In the table parameter, I'll use filter function. Okay, within the parameter, first parameter in table I'll write sales, I'll put a comma. In the expression I would write brand equal to LG. Okay, once I write this expression, I'll close the parenthesis. Okay, and in the I'll put a comma. In the expression of MAXX table, we could provide the expression. Similarly, in order to get the profit, I'll write unit price minus unit cost. Okay, this is our expression which has to be evaluated in each row of the table. I'll close the parenthesis, I'll click over here. It will evaluate each row and by filtering out the LG brand, and then it helps us to understand the maximum profit. Okay, I'll remove this measure and use this LG brand profit value measure. Here you could see that maximum profit is around 250. Okay, this is how MAXA and MAXX functions work. Thank you for watching and we shall meet in the next video.